Here he is, Michael Laxer, and today was the first convention of what is now called the Ontario Socialist Party, is that correct?
Socialist Party of Ontario. After a process of voting, the convention and the delegates chose to pick the name, the Socialist Party of Ontario, over the other names that have been proposed by members across the province.
Including the Left Party.
Including Left Party and Solidarity Ontario, but Socialist Party of Ontario was the name chosen.
They're not, now why do you think that name was chosen?
Well, the arguments that were given and that won out and that prevailed, and arguments that I agree with, was that if the goal and the purpose of the party is to reintroduce genuine anti-capitalist and socialist ideas into the political discourse of Ontario's parliamentary electoral system and in an electoral platform, then it is necessary to have the name socialist and the word socialist in the name of the party. And while other alternatives were discussed, the Socialist Party of Ontario seemed the clearest and the most direct way to do that through our name, to try to introduce ourselves ideologically to the people of the province.
Do you think the NDP doesn't do the New Democratic Party of Ontario doesn't play that role of the sort of left-wing party?
Well, you see, this is of course, the debate. But the truth is that if you look at the platform of the federal New Democratic Party, and if you look at the platform of the provincial New Democratic Party, the little platform that exists, since in fact, of course, their member-adopted policies are routinely discarded, and then what you would call a election planning committee composed of the leader and a handful of their closest advisors actually invents out of thin air what the party will run on in an election once an election time comes. Those are entirely driven by immediate electoral goals and objectives, and do not anymore bear any resemblance to the long-term class and socialist analysis that the NDP grew out of, and that no longer call for genuine transformative change within the electoral system of the province or federally. And that is why I no longer think it is possible, in a meaningful sense of the term left, to call the New Democratic Party a left party. And I would add, as a way of conclusion to that, that in a way they've admitted this themselves, such as in the interview that Mr. Layton had with Peter Mansbridge on the CBC, in which he said that programmatically the New Democrats were essentially no different from the Liberal Party. The only difference was that they kept their promises.
Really? Is your goal to get to run against the NDP in certain ridings, correct? In the upcoming,
I wouldn't phrase it that way. Our goal is to run candidates in ridings where either they have been nominated by duly constituted riding associations, or where the executive of the party chooses to do so in the event that there is no riding association. But it's not to run against the NDP. It's to run for a socialist platform, a democratically composed, consultative, and integrated platform that actually seeks to introduce a socialist agenda into the electoral debate. So we're not running against the NDP. We're running against capitalism. And if the NDP perceives that they are being run against by a socialist party, then that's an interesting comment on their program. But we wouldn't phrase it that way. I would phrase it, our purpose is to fight for a socialist platform and to fight for a socialist alternative to the capitalist order.
Now, a lot of people, though, in this party have New Democratic backgrounds. Would I be correct in saying that? They might have had some experience with the NDP in the past and have...
Well, it would be hard to find people on the left who have no experience with the NDP.
Right, in Canada,
and I was an organizer for the party, and in fact a candidate for the party twice. I would actually say, to be honest, to paraphrase another person, another figure of the past, that it's not so much that my views have changed, it's that the party's views have changed. And I feel that it's not that the NDP, and they in and of themselves have said this in their beta posters and in their discussions in which they have proclaimed themselves to not be your grandfather's NDP.
Yes.
The
yes.
party has decided and has gone out of its way to repudiate its socialist past.
Yeah.
And if we want to keep these socialist ideas alive, and if we want to introduce them within the public platform and within the context of electoral politics in Ontario, this can no longer be done through the NDP. The NDP is not a vehicle to achieve this.
Is there any talk, though, of doing this sort of to get the NDP to smarten up in their program? I mean, it could. Are you guys going to kind of play that by ear?
Well, I wouldn't. I don't think that's our objective. I mean, I think that Joe, in a speech that will be posted online for anyone to see, that Joe Higgins, who came in from Ireland to
Right.
enter the discussions around the need for a new socialist party, stated it best when, he said that these parties are irretrievably lost towards belief in the fundamentals of market capitalism.
Right.
And you see that in contexts in which they have repudiated and seek to take out of their platforms any reference whatsoever to socialism. I don't think that if the objective is not to push the NDP left, the objective is to push the discussion in Ontario
Right.
and to push the politics of Ontario to the left. And if that pushes the NDP to the left, that's great.
Yeah.
And if it pushes the Conservative Party to the left, that's great.
Yeah.
But and I say that only half jokingly because, of course, today, by today's standards in electoral politics, the Conservatives of 30 years ago would be perceived to be on the economic left of the spectrum. That
Progressive.
shows you how the fight for interventionist government that will seek to alleviate poverty and achieve certain social goals, just how far that has left the debate electorally, and how far we have to go to bring that back into the debate. So if you're asking, is the objective to push the NDP to the left, in the sense that the objective is to push Ontario to the left, and only insofar as that is the objective, then yes, the answer would be yes. But what we are seeking to do is to bring back ideas that the NDP has explicitly disavowed and repudiated.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping an eye on this story and see where the Socialist Party goes. We got an upcoming election in October, is it?
In October.
In October 2011. So do you have a website people can go to check out?
We will be founding a new one. At the moment, our existing website is www.thegingerproject.org. However, now with the foundation of the new name, and we will update this on the old website, of course, and on Facebook, where we can be found as the Socialist Party of Ontario.
Great.
We will have a new Socialist Party of Ontario website up in the very near future.
Right, okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Michael Laxer, Ontario Socialist Party.
Thank you.